let's
Geoff.
put that to one side, the houses. But what they've also done is they've increased the taxes on businesses.
Yes.
So what does that mean? That means less money gets invested in those businesses. How do you increase productivity? You actually need that long-term patient capital to increase, to go into those businesses to allow them to invest in, working capital, in various assets, machinery, et cetera, to increase the productivity of those businesses. And so they've brought in a tax on Australian businesses, which will make them less competitive, and it'll make people that have that capital less likely to commit to those Australian businesses. So they're actually doing the actual reverse. So a young person today, just to give you an example, who's, say, trying to get ahead, wasn't around in our time, it'll take them, and if they're trying to borrow for a deposit, it'll take them an extra 4 years because the tax rate on investment, if you're trying to get some money together for a deposit, then effectively, if it was, when we were doing it.
Yeah, we have after 20% we were told to get.
But we would get a deposit 4 years quicker than what a young person would today.
Yeah, right.
And why? Is because they've increased the tax rate on investing in Australian shares, ETFs, Australian businesses. So to me, it's just a disaster what they're proposing. All they need to do is just carve out all Australian businesses and just increase the capital gains tax. We haven't got a strong view on property. If you want to increase the capital gains tax on property to reduce demand, do that. If you want to get rid of negative gearing on property, do that. But don't destroy the lifeblood of Australia, and that's Australian businesses, and that's what they're doing. To me, it's multifactorial. So if you're a young person, trying to get ahead, I had this 25-year-old DM'd me, direct messaged me the other day, and has been working since they're 17.
Yes.
Has set up his own business, and he said, now he's distraught. He said, now the government's going to take effectively half my assets because the tax rate's gone from half your marginal tax rate to effectively 47% in real terms. But when you start a small business, say if you start a small business now, say if I did when I was 18.
What do you pay yourself when you start a small business?
Well, you pay yourself
very,
nothing.
very little, right?
Yeah, but you
so
pay
the
yourself nothing.
sacrifice is enormous, isn't it?
Yeah, everything. And say if I put $10,000 in when I was 18, I'm now 68. So 50 years later, indexing that by 3% per annum to get your cost base, it would be $44,000. Yeah. So that's my cost base. And then whatever my business is worth, I've got to pay 47%.
That's right.
And that's why all the young people, all the memes have been going around, hey, with a picture of them and Albo or Chalmers.
Congratulating him for his 47% effort to help us out.
For doing nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to me, any young Australian that wants to get ahead, and the frustration is so immense because we've spent 20 or 30 years trying to develop an environment where people are funded for taking risk.
Correct.
We've had the Mike Cannon-Brookses and the Farquhars with Atlassian. We've had Canva. More recently, we've got Firmus. We've got these stories that people can look up to and think, if we do the right thing and do that, we can do really well. Now they're going to lose 47% of it, where in the old days it was the maximum you could pay is 23.5%, which is half your marginal tax rate.